Okay, guys, before we get into the video, before we jump into the action, can you guys see this? And if you can you also see this? Hell's Devil, such a nice guy. Got you there, guys. Right, before we get into the video, Katarina Build on your screen right now. Screenshot it, pause it, do whatever you like. Make sure you get that in your brain. Those neurons need to be firing when looking at this Katarina build because it is the #1 build on the European server. Secondly, we have a public broadcast announcement for this video. It is from your boy, AOZ. Cheers to AOZ for sponsoring this video. You can check them out with the links in the description below. My battle power is now over 1 million, which is banger, and it means I can go kick some zombie butts and get in some city raids and start doing some of the cool stuff. So, OP strategy, guys. I have invested in all long-range attack, long-range defense. Set up an army that has like one shredder, one tank, one warbiker. I need to just, yeah, there we go. One warbiker, one infantry, etc. So one of everything except for my long range stuff. And my long range stuff, I put everything in. Okay, how we kill them. So you can see I've only got like one melee in. I've got loads and loads and loads of ranged for the time being. Basically, there is an attack animation which takes a while for this guy to get through. So by the time that he actually gets through to the back line, we're already doing like loads of damage to him. So we're doing loads and loads of damage to him. Unfortunately, my mutant zombies ate all of the damage, but there we go. That was a pretty solid one. All right, let's get into the Katarina video. So I'm not a Katarina god, I'm going to put it that way. Obviously you guys know that I picked up mid. I've been challenging myself to try and play the slightly harder champions, because you guys have watched my channel, like Excoundrel, he's like 50,000 years old, he just plays Galio because he pressed 2 buttons. Well, guys, I've been challenging myself to play things like Yasuo, Zed, and Katarina to see how I do. Now, the reason I picked Katarina in this particular game is there wasn't much CC. When I mean CC, I mean crowd control. When you're thinking about picking Katarina, you really need to ask yourself, how easy is it for them to interrupt my ultimate, right? And for this game, there was a Vayne Condemn, Shyvana Dragon Form, and Seraphine Ultimate, all of which are fairly long cooldown and also quite easily avoided for the most part. Like, you know, once the Shyvana's used her Dragon Form, she can't stop you. Once Seraphine's used her ultimate, you can then use your ult for pretty much free. And obviously Vayne's Condemn, as long as you're keeping track of Vayne, it should be relatively easy to think about. And plus Vayne's going to be more likely condemning like the Garen or the Fiora here. Right, so this is... any kind of like ranged matchup can be a little difficult for Katarina to deal with, but once you hit level 2 and you have Bouncing Blade and Shumpo, you can actually, once they've used their skills, you can actually look for trades. So what I'm doing like most of the time as Katarina is I'm looking to land my Bouncing Blade on Seraphine wherever possible, and then threaten to jump to the dagger and pick it up, right? If Seraphine uses her abilities, there is absolutely nothing that she can do to punish me if I jump in on her and do that right there. And right here, you just see that Shyvana practically used everything. I had the support of the Fiora to the side. I didn't want to go much further than that, though, because obviously, you know, have to be a little careful. But as Katarina, one of the most important things when you're looking to trade in lane, especially with the ranged kind of mage type picks, is just tracking their ability usage and understanding the cooldowns on their abilities. You know, Seraphine has got quite long cooldowns on her first ability and her third ability. So once she uses them, that's an opportunity for you to look for a dagger into a Shunpo. And obviously, when you pick up your dagger, it resets the cooldown on Shunpo, which then can allow you to dive back out to safety to one of your minions or, you know, whatever is closest for you realistically. So the trade is always dagger and then Shumpo to the dagger to pick it up and then Shumpo out. If you get time, it's always nice to potentially set up one second. It's always nice to potentially set up another dagger so that you have like a way to reset your Shumpo again. But obviously I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. Like, most Katarinas and most of the way that you win as Katarina is by looking for ganking opportunities and taking advantage of coming into fights as the third party. What I mean by coming into fights as a third party is Katarina absolutely loves fights that are already going on. You don't want to be really starting the fight as Katarina. If you have to start the fight as Katarina, you're making yourself a very vulnerable target. If you're joining the fight, you are going to be taking them by surprise, potentially landing a load of damage once they've already used their important skills, and it makes it much easier for you to clean things up and get resets, because obviously the most important thing for Katarina when it comes to fighting in team fights is just finding her resets and kind of getting yourself going over and over again. So even though I think when you're really fed, when you have your Hextech Gunblade finished, yes, okay, you can start fights, especially in 1v1. But if you're looking to get fed and snowball as a Katarina, your eyes mostly need to be on the map. Like, get your eyes like this and just look at the map. Look at it like this, right on the map. And think, where can I join? What can I do to join a fight? What can I do to impact here? So that's what you really need to be kind of like focusing on when you're playing Katarina. Is mostly about where you can join fights and how you can, how you can impact the map. Because starting a fight as Katarina, it just makes you the obvious target. And if you're the first target in a team fight, that you're gonna have a bad time, guys. You're gonna have a really bad time. So you just need to be aware that that shouldn't be your primary focus as a Katarina player. You always should be hanging around on the sidelines, looking to enter a fight after it has already begun. So as you can see, we pretty much got Dragon uncontested there. They didn't feel comfortable enough to kind of go for it. We see the Nasus is doing the Rift Heralds. So as a team, we are basically all running up the flash forward. Nice, because Nasus has got absolutely no mana and he just gets slapped down. So there we go. That was a really nice sequence of events for us. Given that we'd been on the losing end of the kills up until this point, we played really nicely around the global objectives. And I think that was, in general, a pretty good answer. Now, we're dropping the Rift Herald. I don't know why Lulu dropped the Rift Herald mid. I probably would have waited to use the Rift Herald, but regardless, Lulu's dropped the Rift Herald mid, so we get some free plates in the Rift Herald, which is always nice. Now, in terms of build, I'm not actually going Hextech Gunblade this game. I was trying something different, mostly because there are a lot of like low HP targets this game, and I thought by having, a Infinity Orb, you can get those crits going on those low HP targets and find those resets much more readily. So that's why I went Infinity Orb as the first item this game, just because I felt like it was going to be easier for me to find resets on the Vayne, Soraka, and Seraphine if I had like critical strikes ready to go. So that's why I chose to go down this particular build path this game. Although I would recommend usually going for Hextech Gunblade. It provides you with a lot more 1v1 potential and also gives you a little bit of extra needed to sustain in team fights. Often can be like make or break between like taking over a team fight and getting killed very early on. So you see what I mentioned about looking at the map, and you can see there's a bit of action going down in the bot lane. I'm having a look at what's going on here. They're going to go for the turret dive is like happening, and Shyvana has turned up. This is a great time for me to enter the fight. Like they've used all their skills, and I just basically just jump in. I mean, it was really awkward, but we did the job. Jump in and get a double kill. I didn't actually mean to delay my ultimate so much there. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think I kind of panicked when I was like, oh, wait a second, I'm actually in the middle of the fight. And I think I kind of panicked, but regardless, we got away with it and we pick up a double kill. So that's all that you need to start getting things rolling as Katarina. And because I kind of want to snowball, one second. Okay, guys, I can't actually remember where I got to. I had to join a work call for like an hour, and now I'm recording this about an hour later. Katarina, that's what we're doing. Okay, so why did I flash? Who knows why I flashed? That was probably one of the weirdest things I've ever seen myself do. However, see here, prime opportunity. Oh, almost dodged the Seraphine ultimate, but we get the kill. It's all we needed. Not going to go much further than that, as you can see. Try and pick up the dagger, but don't need to. So we just get the double kill nicely, and we're on a rampage 4-0-2 on Katarina. It is a great start. And again, it has been from joining fights, picking people off where we can. It hasn't really been about engaging the fight ourselves. And that is, again, a key tip for Katarina. Like, unless you're really fed, you don't usually want to be engaging the fight yourself. So we're going to back here. Obviously, Rabadon's death cap is going to be a really... Just back, Excoundrel? Good boy. Well done. Rabadon's Death Cap is a really nice item spike for us. It's going to give us a huge boost in damage. I think realistically we want to be picking up a Zhonya's at some point soon. That'll be, or a Stasis rather. I always call it Zhonya's, but when I say Zhonya's, what I mean is Stasis. We want to be picking up a Stasis relatively soon. Now, of course, the Infernal Drake is going to be spawning relatively soon. That is going to be an important target for us to take. And I'm now in a situation where I can basically join team fights and start one-shotting people. So it's going to be less, picking your moment becomes less important the more fed you are as Katarina. The more fed you are as Katarina, the more likely you are to create your own moments just by having that ridiculous amount of damage. So I'm going to ward over the wall here. You can see trying to catch out the Shyvana. We go very heavy on to the Soraka and take her out here, and we get a double kill just by picking up a dagger on top of the veins. So again, that was me creating my own moment because I am so far ahead at this point in time. So this is going to be a free Drake for us because both Vayne and Soraka is dead. Shyvana without Drakes is a useless jungler, realistically. And especially denying Infernal from her is really important. That reduces her damage output by a significant amount. So it's a nice little pickup there. What am I going now? I think I'm going, I am going to go for the Stasis enchant, which is now going to allow me to be a bit more safe in these teamfight situations. We're 6-0-2 now, so we are banging. We're having a banger time. We're going to obviously head up towards this fight. You can see that a big fight is ensuing, and we kind of want to be a part of that. I think there is very good potential for a turnaround here. I have my ultimate up as well. Vayne massively overextends. Pick up the dagger. Shumpo into the fight, use the ultimate to try and find a reset, but can't do it. That's a triple kill. We are going to flash onto the dagger. So watch this. We flash onto the dagger to pick it up, and then we jump in, pick up another dagger, then use the reset, jump out with the Q, and that flash onto the dagger was spicy because that just allowed us to get that Shumpo reset and get into the fight and pick up the double kill there. So we're now really fed. We're 8-0-3. Honestly, this game should be unlosable, which is nice, We're going to pick up the Morellonomicon. Don't really need it as Katarina because your ultimate technically applies Grievous Wounds, but Morellonomicon will just allow some of your other abilities, especially when starting a fight with your Bouncing Blade, that should allow you to sort of just apply some reduction in healing, especially versus a Soraka. It's really important, but as a Katarina, because your ultimate already does that, it's not absolutely necessary, so you don't have to worry too much with Katarina about Grievous Wounds because you kind of have it built into your kit. So again, just about searching for opportunities. I do want my team to create opportunities for me. Garen gets condemned away, and then we just jump in here, pick up the kill onto the Vayne. Now, Seraphine has ultimate. I thought I dodged it, and watch this. Watch this. This is tragic. I Shunpo to a minion inside the base. So we're actually just going to skip. We're going to skip this death because no one wants to see this death. Okay, here we go. We're back on the field. So I Shumpo'd onto a minion rather onto an ally, which is really unfortunate because I probably could have survived if I Shumpo'd onto an ally. But we're 9-1-3. We're in a really good spot. We're pausing for some reason. Hello? Question mark ping? Question mark. Okay, we're good. We're here. I was question mark pinging just to check what was going on. I think it's because I was holding Arthur. I think it's because I was holding Arthur at the same time during this. So we're going to push this bot lane wave in. It's going to create a bit of pressure onto this tier 2 here, which will allow me to then freely roam towards the mid lane. And obviously with the Baron spawning soon, we want that side of the map to be pushing into the enemy so they have to respond on the side of the map that is furthest away from Baron. Rule 101 of playing the map around objectives. You want the enemy to be on the opposite side of the map so you can manipulate minion waves to ensure that the enemy is on that side of the map. And someone is teleporting to the... Oh, it's just Nasus. Nasus is teleporting to the mid lane tier 1 just to get out of that gank. I actually think that was pretty clever from him because if he was dead, it was guaranteed Baron. So that at least keeps the Baron sort of defense alive for the enemy team. We do have to respect their team fight. They do have a relatively strong team fight if they can land the Seraphine ultimate. So we do have to respect that. But we're really strong, and I don't really see a way that we're gonna lose this game easily. Probably can't. I mean, they can't even get into their own jungle. I'm just waiting for a potential opportunity. You can see Vayne has kind of jumped into the ultimate here, massively overextended. We pick up our first kill. We actually dodge the Seraphine ultimate. We use the stasis just to buy ourselves a little bit more time. We're going to flash out to ensure that we don't die. Have the Lulu ultimate. Pick up a dagger so we can get into the fight. We unfortunately get stunned up, but we did our job. We killed the Vayne, and we end up killing the Nasus with the enemy team surrendering, which gives us a wonderful score of 11, 1, and 5 at the end. It was a good game of Katarina. And that's the end of the video. Boom! End of video. Nice. Hope you enjoyed. Banger game. Katarina. I'm really good at Katarina, apparently. I'm not. I'm terrible. Subscribe anyway.